Welcome to the Star Wars The Last Jedi review. I'm your host, Pat U. Keaton, otherwise known as Ewen, because that's my Star Wars nickname. Joining me today is Boyda, otherwise known as Dan Boyle. Boyda.
Right.
And
is that Boba Fett?
No, Boyda. That's his Star Wars name.
How do you know?
I'll find out.
Boyda.
And your name is Glossum. Or Glossa.
Glossum
or Glossa.
How do you work these things out?
The way you work it out is you take the first three letters of your last name.
Yeah.
And you put the first two letters of your first name.
Yeah.
And then you join them together. And then you get like your middle name and then the town you grew up in. Hence why mine's is Pat U. Keaton.
So the second bit is your middle name.
And the town you grew up in.
So, yeah, Glosser and then James Preston.
So technically,
just choose one of them. So I feel like, because I have two, I chose the first one.
So you don't split up the syllables or anything
no.
For the second one. So it's just Glosser Preston. That's really depressing.
No, it's like, so you take like the first three letters so you get like your first two letters of your middle name.
Yeah.
So what's your middle name?
Our middle name, James.
So it's Ja Press.
Oh, that's more fun.
So Glossa Ja Press.
So I am Boyda Wilhar.
Yeah.
No, that's Boyda
Wilhar.
You sound like a bounty hunter.
Boyda Wilhar.
Yeah.
Glossa Japress just sounds like someone that sells sofas on Coruscant. Come down to Japress.
No, I feel like you sell umbrellas on Naboo. Well, that was a Star Wars joke if ever I've made.
Oh, I'm happy.
You know.
So now that we've diverged completely, we're going to go over the Last Jedi. What we liked, what we didn't like, and then we're going to give it a score. So let's start off with our general thoughts. So tell me, did you like it, did you not like it, or did you met it? So
I met it. I met it. I liked it more than I thought I would, but I met it.
Okay.
I liked it.
And I liked it. So let's start going over the things that we liked. So, Dan, let's start off with you.
Well, the things that I loved the Luke stuff. Luke Skywalker in the film. This was possibly the best Luke Skywalker we've seen in Star Wars.
Yes.
And Mark Hamill actually acted, which was amazing. So I'm very thrilled.
Yeah, giving Mark Hamill the ability to do what he's good at is fantastic.
I feel like the Luke stuff was the highlight of the film with any shadow of a doubt. I feel like Luke was the best bit about that.
I liked it. I genuinely liked this film. There was some bits which were a bit but overall it was nice. It felt more serialized than other Star Wars films, which was interesting choice. There were some bits I thought like you could have rewritten this better.
We'll get to that bit in the bits.
But overall, it was fun.
I liked it a lot. I mean, coming from the resident Star Wars nerd on the panel, I liked what they did with Luke. I liked what they did with Rey and Kylo actually as well. The stuff with Poe, I like the journey that he went on. I don't like the decisions that they made on that journey though.
He had an important message to say, and that was good. Why it was an important part of the story.
The stuff with Finn I can get to later. The stuff with actually tackling the Force and the Jedi were some of the most... I think from the moment... This is a full spoiler review as well. So from the moment Finn and Rose get onto the starship, which is Snoke's starship, I think that's one of the best Star Wars films ever. Before that, there's a lot of problems. I think... Yeah, let's go deeper into some of the stuff that we liked. So,
Well, I've got to say the highlight, if I'm going to talk about the Luke stuff as the main thing that I liked about it, I think the highlight was Astral Luke right at the end.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't see it coming, it blew me away, and I feel like that is the true power of the Force, being able to sit on a planet and be able to do that incredible lightsaber battle and be there physically, but not really there.
Yeah.
I thought that was the highlight of the film for me.
Yeah, it was definitely a moment where I think a lot of people watched it and then it was like, something wrong with this and I can't figure out why.
It was like when he was avoiding all the blaster shots, I just thought, that's just Luke being a badass with the Force. But then you realise they probably all hit him. He just wasn't there.
Yeah. I think from the moment you just hear boom, 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 I'm like, oh shit. Oh, here we go.
My favourite, I think one of my favourite bits of it is when he's in when Kylo Ren is in the walker with the commander, and he's just like, fire everything. it just reminds me of like me on a computer game where it's just like, why won't you die?
He was that one NPC who just won't go away because he's glitched slightly.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I love the stuff with Luke. I like the fact that he's changed his way that he looks at the Force as well. He doesn't see it as just light and dark. He sees it as the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And I love it that when he says to assume that the light dies when the Jedi die is a fallacy. Is arrogant. Because there is both. You cannot have one without the other. And that is why the dark side is flawed, because they only want the dark side. They only want the dark. And they fail to realize that if you create, and I like the fact that Kylo is so up himself, he feels that it is his right because he's the grandson of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It's like, we all know that one person that feels like they're entitled to it, and they act exactly like Kylo does. And the fact that he's become so powerful in the Force, at the same time, Rey's the one that comes to meet him. It's what Snoke says. Darkness rises and light to meet it. I like that because you need the equivalent of each other. That's what Darth Vader and Luke were. They were the equivalent of each other.
Yeah.
What I feel this film has tried to do, I'm not sure how successful it is, but it's with all this ideology about the kind of the texts and going that the way that the Jedi's potentially saw it was a bit bullshit. Is a way of making the first three films, the first prequels, acceptable.
Yeah.
Because you can watch them realising these are lies, these are a fairy tale, these are both twisted by both the Emperor and the Jedi. Midichlorians are a complete misnomer. That's what it's basically doing.
Yeah. The thing is, he also, at the same time, it's showing that because of the dogma that the Jedi created, it allowed Sidious to take over. Luke acknowledges that.
I liked that he acknowledged that.
It's really not them running away from it. Yeah. I like that.
I really like that. Just that one line where he just says, "How can the Jedi were flawed. They allowed this to happen at the height of their power." And I feel like that's a very poignant moment, not only because it is one of the few things that actually acknowledges the prequels that they happened, they were a thing, but I also just quite like the fact that, the Jedi are flawed. They weren't perfect. They were never perfect.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about this story is, annoyingly, I've been writing a treatment for a series which is all based around the theme of the fear of failure. That's all it's about. The idea of saying that we as humans, our biggest flaw is not allowing us to admit when we're wrong. And we've got that. I've been writing this series doing that. And then, just finally finished the treatment. I'll sit down and go watch Star Wars. This entire film is about my theme, and they've done it better.
I think Rey's journey as well is fantastic. It's that she doesn't know where she stands. I like, some people get grumpy at the fact that she's a nobody, and I counteract with that. It doesn't matter that she's a nobody.
No, I prefer that she's a nobody. I prefer that she's a nobody because it sends out the message that anybody could be Rey. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are, no matter who your parents are, anybody can be anything.
And let's not forget, Anakin was a nobody. He's only a somebody because we know the full story. But if you came into episode 1 and you saw Shmi Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker,
they're nobody.
They're nobodies. They are literally slaves.
Yeah, they are.
So it makes no difference. Obi-Wan's family was they were nobodies.
Because the whole point of the Jedi is just whoever happens to have the Force. And like right at the end when you see little Annie again, which wasn't little Annie, but it was a little nod to him, just where he moves the broom with his hand. It just, as I say, just goes to show that anybody can have the Force and anybody
so that's, I have a lot of love for this film. It's not my favourite Star Wars film ever, but I have a lot of love for this one. Let's move on to the stuff we didn't like. Sam, what was some of the stuff you didn't like?
Unfortunately, the stuff I was very uncomfortable with is a lot of the Princess Leia stuff. Now, this is not because I didn't look. This is not because of really anything that she did, more than the fact that it's the stuff she no longer can do. Yeah, because she's dead, and that's rather sad. And I think there was a moment they could have done. They could have rewritten parts of this film to adapt to this, and it was to kill her in space. Yeah. She should have died in space, and the story would have worked out the same. There is nothing past that point that Princess Leia does that makes it impactful. Yeah,
and I completely agree with you there, because I was saying this to you after I first watched the film. That was a very poignant moment to have her dying in that way, in a very undramatic way, to be honest. I mean, let's face it, she just got blasted into space. Yeah. I can understand them keeping her alive if she'd had more relevance in the story later on. Yeah. But it feels like they kept her alive. She didn't do anything else because she was supposed to do something in the next film. Yeah. Which she's not going to do because she's no longer here. Yeah.
They have the opportunity to kill her off, and I think they should have committed to that, especially because the point of the whole of this, when you see the rest of this story, is so left-wing. So, not left-wing as in politics. So it's gone such a sharp turn in the sense of storytelling, which is what I loved about it. That's what they should have committed to. Yeah. And also, they should have given the audience the chance to grieve. Creating an entire film, that whole plot line that everyone has a problem with, would make more sense if there was this void. Yeah. If it was, the rest of the story was Princess Leia should be here. Yeah. And the rest of that story makes sense. Like, Poe Dameron's fear of failure is kind of him wanting to do something, him wanting to kind of give revenge on Leia, which is the most un-Princess Leia thing he could have ever done, makes more sense. And also, all the stuff with the other one, trying to take control, and what she evidently does is one of the most badass things in Star Wars history. And that would have made that dynamic would have been beautiful, because it's both of them are trying to fill the void that can't be filled.
Yeah, because she's gone. But I can understand, as I say, I can understand them keeping her if she'd had relevance, but she had no relevance to the plot whatsoever.
Yeah, I think there's only one moment which would have been sad to see, is that moment between Luke and Leia. Yeah. But I would have personally think that moment would be better if they cut that, put it in the DVD, saying extra, and then they could have sold it as extra features.
I wouldn't do that, because I was so angry we haven't gotten in this trilogy. We'll never get a shot with Luke, Leia, and Han. We'll never get the original three.
But that was in the design.
So we needed Luke and Leia to see each other.
But I feel like what you could have done to make it a bit more of a heartfelt moment is you could have had, because Leia's obviously, I mean, she's the daughter of Darth Vader. She's got some elements of the Force. You saw it in this film. They did officially confirm it in this film when Mary Poppins is back towards the spaceship. But I feel like what you could have done in that moment, because they'd clearly already filmed it, and it was a very heartfelt moment, and it feels like Mark Hamill was genuinely saying that. I don't know whether he was at the time, but it feels like he was genuinely saying goodbye to her. But it does feel more like, why not completely change it? Why not completely take that scene out of context so that Luke is having a Force moment with his dead sister?
That would have been better. That conversation could have happened then.
So he sat on the island speaking to his sister, who is no longer around. That entire scene, the entire words they used, it wasn't very long, but it could have fit in that context.
Yes. And also, here's a way you can make it work. Because I think because there's a moment that you could use that as the tipping point that makes Luke act. Because there's that moment where he's sitting on the island and he's like, no, I'm not going to do anything. No. What? No, R2-D2, there's nothing you can do to make me want to go back. Then he does that projection. He turns around and goes, why did you do that? And instead of going back, he would have tried to call her, contact her and say, sorry, I'm a failure. I cannot come back. But she's dead. he can't contact her. She's gone. So he then goes, you can then do your thing of going into the Force, talking to Larry in the Force, and then that's when he's like, no, I need to act. Boom, he's there. He's in the moment. He can then do all that, and that's more of an impact. You're saying goodbye to Carrie Fisher. You're getting that meeting. But the point is, life doesn't allow you to have these perfect moments.
Yeah.
That's better.
I agree with that would have been probably a better way of doing it, but I'm not gonna complain completely. I get what you were talking about though. I didn't like the stuff that I didn't like was the whole Canto Bight casino bit.
Oh God! The most irrelevant scene in Star Wars history.
It felt literally like a side quest. It was
stupid.
You could.
I felt like something from Star Wars Rebels. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
just saying that was definitely a Star Wars Rebels episode. It felt like an episode
of Star Wars Rebels was just. I love Star Wars Rebels, as we all know, but it felt like an episode of Star Wars Rebels was just jammed in, and it didn't fit right. There was an easy solution to that entire thing.
How do you use those two characters?
I would so instead of having them go to the casino planet, have them have it turn out that Rose is actually a really good hacker, as well as a technical person, because it's all part of her tech thing. So it wouldn't look out of place. She goes, the pair of them go to the thing, and it's them being chased by Captain Phasma around the ship.
Cut out the planet and
cut out the planet.
The same story. That works.
It gives so then it shows the development and the trust between Rose and Finn, and you've got them running around. You've got BB-8 running around, and that creates that whole dynamic. So that by the end, when she says it's about the things we love, which also I didn't really like because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That moment feels more deserved.
It would have been better, yeah, because that makes sense. If you just have that moment where he's trying to escape, if he's genuinely trying to escape, and then that's where that moment there when they're like, oh, between us, we could get on that ship.
Yeah,
it did feel a bit kind of. Yeah. It did feel a bit like
I also
a Zelda quest, where it's like, okay, I'm almost there. Oh, I have to get a chicken. Ah, good God's sake.
Yeah, I also have a bit of a plot hole to point out, and I want to know if either of you two can answer this. At that moment when they go to the planet, they go on a ship, right?
Yeah.
Which is clearly a little ship from the little armada. How the hell did the Empire not notice one
because it's flying away? It's so small that it doesn't register on their scans. That's why.
Then why didn't they use those ships to bugger off in the first place?
That's what they were planning on doing at the end. That's why all those little ships.
Yeah, but it didn't work,
going.
Did it?
Well, that it only didn't work because DJ gave them out.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Useless character number 6.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Benicio del Toro with that horrible stutter.
What was that about?
All he's done is made people with stutters evil. I wasn't a fan of that characterization.
The only thing that character provided was showing that both sides are as bad as each other.
Yeah.
That was it. And you could have figured that out in about 5 minutes with a different way. I really did. I didn't like the fact that they kind of jammed more Maz Kanata in there. I like the character from Force Awakens, but she just kind of felt out of place. It felt like she was running around in the video game.
Yeah.
What you could have done, I've just thought, is get them on the ship by getting them arrested. The idea of he goes to escape, she's like, you can't escape. Oh, but no, I'm going on a mission. Oh, and then they come up with that plan, and they go, okay, here's the plan to escape. But then they get escape, to get caught, get in the brig. You still meet DJ in the thing, and they have to figure out a way out of there to get all the stuff. That would have been a better. Yeah, cuts the planet out anyway.
And I get why they put the planet there. It's to show that it doesn't matter who really wins and who they're fighting for and all of that stuff. And it shows the legend of Luke Skywalker. But you could have done that in exactly the same way. You could have had that moment that they have at the end with the kids telling the story of Luke Skywalker, the legend of Luke Skywalker taking on the First Order. You could easily do that on like Tatooine or some far off planet, and the kid walks out and does the exact same thing. The only thing that planet really added was showing who they're fighting for and making sure Broom Boy gets the Rose's ring with the Rebel sign on it.
Yeah. And it also gave us the weird Greyhound things that I liked.
I did see that shot of the racing arena, and all I thought was, oh God, pod races. Oh God, don't say that. Pod racing.
Pod racing is my favourite thing about Phantom Menace.
To be fair, pod racing as a game was amazing.
The pod racing game was incredible, but that's not in the...
Fun fact for you, if you look in Attack of the Clones, footage from the pod racing game is in the bar that Obi-Wan goes into in Attack of the Clones.
Nice.
I'm a nerd.
Also, another good game for the PS1 was Star Wars Demolition. That was a good one.
Lego Star Wars, best one.
So I think we've kind of aired our feelings on it. You tell us right down in the comments what you think of it. Dan, what do you think? What would your price be? What would you give it? How much would you spend it?
on it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's gone down since I last spoke to you. I don't think I would spend more than 10. I'd spend about £7 on this.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that £7 is mainly for Astral, Luke, and Yoda, who we didn't mention, but
Yeah, Yoda was awesome.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you?
$14.99, which is the rough price of a Blu-ray. I'd buy a Blu-ray, sit down at home and enjoy it, but I don't think I'd need to waste my time in a cinema.
See, I've already spent about £20 on this film. And I'm probably going to spend about another 20 for the special edition.
Yeah.
Because they'll have all the good stuff on it.
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to... So I'm probably going to at least spend about £50 on this film.
That is.
yeah, you see, there's me.
But that's because I'm a Star Wars nerd and I want it right next to my special edition of Force Awakens. And
well, there you go. I mean, I got free cinema ticket and I'll spend about £7 on the DVD, and that's about it. I won't go more than that.
If I'm to rank it where I put it, because Star Wars nerds, we like ranking stuff.
Yeah.
I probably put
They
it...
are rankers. The whole fan base is a bunch of rankers.
Rancors in the Rancor pit.
That was almost good.
I know, it was almost a joke. I probably put it at about the middle of my list.
Okay,
probably about four or five.
Considering there are 8 films, that's about the middle.
Yeah. I probably put it about there because I still think Empire is better. I still think Revenge of the Sith is better, and I still think Rogue One is better.
Yeah,
But killed younglings.
And on that note,
just quick before we go, was there a trailer for that Obi-Wan film?
no.
Or am I making this up?
No, there's not even a trailer for Han Solo, and that comes out in 5 months.
Because I must have watched a fan-made trailer then.
you must have done.
It was really good. It was really well done. But
Well, congratulations to the fans who made it.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, bye.
bye.
Bye.